Reports in Italy are stating that Spurs are interested in signing Nicolò Fagioli in the summer transfer window. If West Ham United go and beat Newcastle at St James's Park in the Premier League on Sunday afternoon, Spurs will fall back into the bottom three. Newcastle boss Eddie Howe, ahead of this game, has come out and said, "This game is massive for us." Rangers have made it clear that they want to keep Mikey Moore on loan for another season. The Spurs women won their final WSL game of the campaign, winning 2-1 away at Brighton at the Amex Stadium. After the match, Martin Howe said, "We hope to give the supporters a couple of surprises during the transfer window." And all of the match facts and stats ahead of the Chelsea v Spurs game on Tuesday. Hi everyone, hope you're well. Chris Cowlin here. Now this is another episode of Tottenham News, but I'll be going through all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Now let's start by talking about the Premier League games that will take place on Sunday. Manchester United host Nottingham Forest, Brentford take on Crystal Palace, Everton face Sunderland, Leeds take on Brighton, Wolves take on Fulham, and the one that we are most interested in is the Newcastle v West Ham United game that kicks off 5:30pm kickoff. If West Ham United win at St James's Park on Sunday, Spurs will then fall back into the bottom three. One Premier League game will take place on Monday evening, Arsenal hosting Burnley. And then, of course, Spurs will be in action away at Chelsea on Tuesday evening, 8:15pm kickoff. One other game will also take place on Tuesday evening. Bournemouth will take on Manchester City. Now, West Ham United forward Callum Wilson has been talking about Tottenham and West Ham's remaining two Premier League games. He said ultimately Tottenham's result against Leeds still leaves things quite open, so we have to go to Newcastle and try and get a result there. All you can do is take care of your own house and keep that in order. Basically, if we get a result, it puts pressure on Tottenham, and then you get another result against Leeds on the final day of the season, and then you will see where you end up. Now, Newcastle will face West Ham on Sunday. If West Ham United win this game at St James's Park, Spurs will go into the bottom three. Newcastle boss Eddie Howe, in his pre-match press conference, he said the game is massive for us. The last home game of the season. We have trained hard and we have trained well. We just need to do ourselves justice. We have to build momentum and confidence in what we are doing. The players will take these last two games into the summer with them. Rangers boss Danny Röhl has insisted he will try everything in his power to bring Tottenham Hotspur star Mikey Moore back to the club next season. He said, "We are very clear as a club with what we want to do with Mikey, but there are three parties. We are just one of them. Mikey Moore fits in really well here, and I totally believe that we can get him to the next level as well. We have to try and change a lot of things right now. We have to be patient though with Mikey and also be on the front foot. We are clear and we will try everything. Maybe if there's a chance and it makes sense to wait for him, we will wait. But if you ask me, I want to have him straight from pre-season when I prepare my team for a good start to next season. That's important because we can't allow ourselves to come so far from behind. We have to start really well and strong, and we have to work hard to get a great start." Now, Tottenham Hotspur travel to Stamford Bridge to face Chelsea in Matchweek 37 on Tuesday, 8:15pm kickoff. The Times newspaper have just stated that Xabi Alonso has just agreed to take charge of Chelsea on a 4-year deal. The deal is expected to be wrapped up before Chelsea host Spurs on Tuesday, and he could be in attendance at Stamford Bridge to watch his new side. Now, former Tottenham Hotspur star Heung-Min Son has just been selected for his 4th World Cup after the South Korea captain was named in their squad for the tournament, which of course will take place in the summer. Now for some Spurs Women news. Olivia Holdt's stunning strike against London City Lionesses has just been shortlisted for the Barclays Women's Super League Goal of the Season award. Now on Saturday, the Spurs women were in Women's Super League action away at Brighton. Spurs won the game 2-1. Goals from Olivia Holdt and Toko Koga gave Tottenham another 3 points. They already secured 5th place before they went into this game. Now, I spoke to Spurs boss Martin Howe after the game about a range of subjects, including the summer transfer window and the ambitions for next season. This is what he had to say. Martin, congratulations on another win. Nice to finish on a win. What did you make of the game?
Yeah, I thought in the first half before we were good. I thought it was actually 2 really good teams. Teams who want to have the ball, want to play. 2 teams who want to press high and be aggressive. And I thought they had some parts in the first half. We had large parts. I thought we created the bigger chances. And we just wasn't clinical enough in those positions we got into. But it's good that we're getting into those areas. Second half, though the first 5 or 10 minutes we started slow, we made decisions we were making, and then we caused our own problems with the free kick. And then the response again, the mentality of the group again shows where we're behind and we push to come back, and then we come from behind and then take the lead. And yeah, I think us getting in behind on that first one, put ball across, drops to Olivia and she finishes, superb strike, and then yeah, again high pressure on the goalkeeper. They kick and it's intercepted by Toko, and then Toko puts it over the keeper from distance. But I thought we were knocking on the door for large parts of the game to score, and I think it could have probably been more, if I'm honest, throughout the game. But it was just nice to play in a game where 2 teams were going at it with the right intentions and the right style. And yeah, I'm just delighted we come out on top and the players get to finish on a win.
It's always nice getting a last-minute winner in the 92nd minute, but she decided to celebrate with you.
Yeah, and I think I just spoke to her now and she said she didn't even mean to celebrate with me. It was actually for Micah. I just said it would have been more embarrassing if she'd have run past me when I had my arms out. So no, I think that's a wonderful moment for Toko. Since she's come in, she's a young player. She's just turned 20. She come in at 19, and she's well above her years footballing wise, as a person, as a player, and she's got such a bright future. She'll be one of the best in the world, I have no doubt. In her future years, internationally and domestically, and I'm delighted for her because she's been so consistent, and to come into this league and do what she's done, she deserves huge plaudits. And yeah, I'm delighted for her.
Dario was just in here applauding Gabset in the centre of midfield. What do you make of her today?
Yeah, she was breathtaking. She's arguably probably the best young player I've ever worked with, alongside probably Lauren James. She's absolutely outstanding. The way she possesses the ball, the way she carries it, distribution, she's still got so much to learn in terms of her overall tactical and technical part of the game, and she's still got to mature physically. But for her ability at 20 years of age, like Toko, is something special. And I was blessed enough to work with Signe in Norway, and now to be able to see her now doing on this stage over a 6-month period, yeah, it's really nice. And I'm delighted for her because she puts a lot of work in and she puts a lot of pressure on herself. And again, she'll be one of the best players in world football, I have no doubt.
Can I ask you about the match officials today? Because you and your coaching staff seem to not be very happy with them in certain moments.
Yeah, they have a difficult job, and I understand it, and I would never want to do their job neither. But just maybe some consistency with certain decisions, and maybe some of them in terms of when they're giving cautions out and so on, like just getting the people right who it's for and not getting the wrong person, because the impact that and implications of that is that if someone's already on a certain amount, then they can be banned and so on. And so making sure we get these things right, because if we don't, we can't grow the game. We want the game to grow, and they're learning, we're learning. But yeah, just some frustrations with a little bit of consistency, but yeah, they have a difficult job, and I have huge respect for them.
Martin, how nice is it, the fact that it's an away game, but the whole squad was here?
Yeah, really nice, and it's something I asked for. I want to make sure that the squad is together at the end of the season. Everyone's contributed. We need to celebrate it together. We need to support one another. Whether people have been injured and come back in, or people have had long-term injuries, we need to make sure we give everyone the opportunity. And now I think having everyone together today was lovely, and finishing on a win is really big, because actually everyone can celebrate it together. And we just want to allow players now and staff to reflect and review what we've done this year, and find ways that we can be better going into next year, and what parts where we can take with us from best practice, and then make sure we come back in refreshed, ready to go again.
How was it today, especially in the changing room after the game, knowing that Beth England has played her last game for the club?
Yeah, and it'll be very sad. There'll be a lot of emotion for the players, especially, and the staff, because everyone's worked closely with Beth, and people have worked a lot closer than I have. I've only worked with her for 12 months, but what she's done for this football club since she's been here, the impact she's had not just on the pitch but off it, and she's still in that position where she's a pioneer in women's football and writes herself in history with not just us as a club but in WSL football in terms of contributions and individual accolades. And yeah, there'll be a lot of emotion, but there'll be a lot of celebration and pride because Beth's contributed to a large part of what this club's about. And yeah, I have not much respect for Beth.
Martin, can I ask you about the fans? Because at the end of the game, of course, as you always do, you and the players go over to the away end, and they've been fantastic for you this year.
Yeah, they've been outstanding, and they've grown in quality, they've grown in quantity, they've grown in stature, and yeah, it gets louder every single time. So yeah, we want to make sure that if we can perform at a high level, we have to give back. We need to make sure that we wear this badge and play for this club with pride and a lot of passion. And I think the players have done that this year. They leave everything outside. And to be able to build that relationship with the fans and the players is really important, because that connection can take you a long way. And if we continue to get this following and it keeps growing, I have no doubt when we go away, we'll keep filling the away end out in these stadiums, and we want to make sure that relationship continues, but the fans keep coming back, and we have to put performances in to allow them.
A 5th place finish in the WSL, 13 points behind 3rd. Is the aim the top 3 next season? And I know, of course, in the previous press conference you said that a lot of the business is done. With those players coming in, do you have confidence that you can finish in the top 3? Is that realistic?
I have confidence in the group all the time that we can finish as high as we can, and I always want to win. You finish 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, no one should be happy, because we want to win things. We can be happy with certain elements if we've outperformed our data and our expectations we set. But yeah, I want to win. I want to win everything when I take part in it. If that's a game, if that's a competition, and I want to make sure this club gets back to where it should be for the size and the richer the history it's got. And we'll make sure that when we go away in the summer to do our business, we get that all finalised, and then we make sure that we go away, we reflect, we come back in for a hard pre-season, and we set really high benchmarks, which we have now this season. We've set a benchmark for ourselves, and we need to make sure that we continue to build on top of that.
Martin, can I get your reaction on the Sevens tournament? Because the fixtures have come out now: Aston Villa, West Ham, Manchester United. You said you want to win everything. Do you want to win this, or do you see it as like a friendly tournament?
No, you want to win. You want the players to enjoy it first and foremost, but you want to win it. You want to go in and win. You want to make sure that the players enjoy it, they learn things, as well as they have that kind of fun element to it. But yeah, of course you want to go in and win it. It's part of a competition, and that can definitely breed confidence. It definitely breeds a winning mentality if you win those things. So no matter if it's a tournament that maybe people see as just a bit of fun, we want to go in and win, because actually that winning mentality is key for us.
Can I just ask you lastly, a message for the fans for next season?
Yeah, I thank you for everything you've done this year. I think for us staff, players, wider club, you've been outstanding, and continue to support this group, support the players, and keep coming out in your numbers to support us, and hopefully we can add more to that. And yeah, I wish you a wonderful summer and enjoy it, and hopefully we can bring you some nice surprises along the way with the signings we bring in, and come out and support us next year.
When will those announcements be made? Soon?
Hopefully very soon.
Thanks, Martin. Now, Tottenham Hotspur travel to Stamford Bridge to face Chelsea in the Premier League in Matchweek 37 on Tuesday, 8:15pm kickoff. Here are the match facts and stats ahead of the game. Chelsea have won 38 Premier League games against Spurs. It is the most they have beaten an opponent in the competition, while Spurs have only lost more against Manchester United, and that is 40. Spurs have won just one of their last 35 away league matches against Chelsea, drawing 11 and losing 23. And that was a 3-1 win in April 2018 under Mauricio Pochettino. Chelsea have won their last 5 league games against Tottenham, only winning more in a row against them between January 2000 and March 2002, and that was 6. Chelsea haven't lost their final home league game in any of their last 23 seasons, winning 16 and drawing 7 since a 3-1 defeat to Aston Villa back in 2002. having won their final away league game in 4 consecutive seasons between 2020-2021 and 2023-2024, Spurs lost 2-0 at Aston Villa in their last game on the road last term. Now, Chelsea are winless in their last 7 Premier League games, drawing 1 and losing 6, last having a longer run between December 1994 and Feb 1995, and that was 10. Chelsea have lost each of their last 4 Premier League home games. They have never lost 5 in a row at Stamford Bridge in their entire league history. Tottenham have won their last 2 Premier League away games, last winning more consecutively between September and November 2000, and that was 4 games. Spurs have taken as many points from their final 4 Premier League games, 8 winning 2 and drawing 2, as they had in their previous 17 combined, winning 1, drawing 5 and losing 11. Spurs only conceded 1 goal in the opening 45 minutes of their 5 games under Roberto De Zerbi, having conceded in the first half in each of their previous 11. And Chelsea's João Pedro has been involved in 4 goals in 2 Premier League starts against Spurs. That's 3 goals and 1 assist, netting Chelsea's winner at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the reverse fixture this season. Reports in Italy have just stated that Tottenham Hotspur have identified Nicolò Fagioli as a possible target for this summer. The 25-year-old has just completed his first full season at Fiorentina after his €13.5 million switch from Juventus. Now, my thoughts on all of these stories in this episode. Let's start by talking about Sunday's Premier League games, or should I say Sunday's Premier League game. I don't think any of us care about the rest. It is all about the Newcastle v West Ham game. Can Newcastle United do us a favour? We need Newcastle to win, and of course, it would then put huge pressure on West Ham, and Spurs have to travel to Chelsea on Tuesday. And even a draw at Chelsea would get Spurs over the line, because if Newcastle beat West Ham, Spurs go and draw at Chelsea or even win at Chelsea, that is it, job done, and we can relax on the final weekend of the Premier League campaign. Of course, those fixtures, West Ham host Leeds and Spurs host Everton. So, Newcastle could do us a favour. I know I am very much a person that always says it's all about Tottenham. It is all about Tottenham. But if Newcastle can do us a favour on Sunday, I will certainly welcome it. I really will. Because those stats that I read out, Chelsea v Spurs, Spurs do not travel to Stamford Bridge very well. 1 win in 36 years, 1 win in Premier League history at Stamford Bridge. And also another stat, Chelsea have never lost 5 consecutive home games in their entire history. Is that going to happen? Let's wait and see. But yeah, a huge couple of days in this relegation fight coming up. The season is nearly done. Sunday week, it will all be done. Sunday week, we will know exactly what's what. And of course, it's got to be said that, Eddie Howe, he's had a difficult season at Newcastle United, and he will really want to finish the season well at St James's Park in particular as well. So, a lot of these teams are fighting for pride. A lot of these teams are fighting for European finishes even. When you look at Everton on the final day of the season, it now works out that if you're 8th in the Premier League, you will be playing European football in the Europa Conference League. So Everton will be wanting to win that game on the final day of the season. So, Spurs need to put up a real fight in these remaining 2 Premier League games and give absolutely everything. Now, we're being linked to Nicolò Fagioli again. I've read these types of reports out before in multiple transfer windows, in particular the last couple of transfer windows. Of course, Fabio Paratici now works for Fiorentina. So I've no doubt down the line that Spurs could even do business with Fiorentina, with Fabio Paratici in the middle of it. But do I care about transfers at this stage? I think that it is all eyes and all focus on these 2 remaining Premier League games, and I think that a lot of these players actually will not be putting any agreements in place without knowing that Spurs are a Premier League team. But if you watch this or listen to this on a regular basis, you will know that I've said for years we need to show real ambition The transfer windows need to be absolutely top notch with real top quality players coming in to improve the starting 11, to improve the squad overall, and give us the players to be fighting on all fronts. This is a term that the club used at the start of this season, fighting on all fronts. They sacked Ange Postecoglou because we wanted to fight on all fronts. And then we appointed Thomas Frank, we sacked him. We appointed Igor Tudor, we sacked him. And then now Roberto De Zerbi is in. And, when you look at the forward line in particular, with the players that we have got out injured, you look at that forward line, who is the game changer coming off the bench to change a game, to grab a goal? Some people would probably shout now and say, well, it was James Maddison. It could be James Maddison. But, the injuries that we've had as well. So, show real ambition. I want to see Spurs fighting for the Premier League title. I want to see Spurs fighting for the biggest prizes available and possible. And, we are a million miles away from that at the moment. There are so many better teams than Tottenham Hotspur at the moment in terms of squads and in terms of squad depth. So transfer windows, I'm sure, in just over a week's time, we will be linked with lots of different players, and there'll be transfer reports galore that we can talk about, and I'll give you more of my opinions then. But Nicolò Fagioli, this is another player that we have been linked with in so many different transfer windows. What's next? Rangers want to keep Mikey Moore for another season. I've absolutely no doubt. Why wouldn't they want to keep Mikey Moore for another season? But like Mikey Moore said in a press conference and in an interview the other day, he will need to go back to Spurs. He will need to speak to Roberto De Zerbi. He will need to hear Roberto De Zerbi's plans. But like I've said on multiple different occasions during these episodes in the years that I've done this channel, when a player goes out on loan and they are absolutely loving life, in particular, a huge stadium like Ibrox, a huge fan base like Rangers, and the fans absolutely loving what you're doing. You are used to people singing your name. You are used to starting games. You are used to scoring goals. You are used to assisting. And players get very used to this. And then they think that they go back to their parent club and it's going to be exactly the same. So is Roberto De Zerbi going to give Mikey Moore a lot of game time? Is it going to be better for his development? Like the Rangers boss said there, it would be good for his development and they could take him to the next level. Is it better for his development to be at Rangers for another season? That is a big conversation that the player needs to have with the manager and other coaching staff at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. But like I said in a previous episode, I would like to see some of these development players, some of these young players, some of these players that have gone out and had successful loans. I'd like to see them come back and us utilise them in the way that we should. Because how many players have we had come through in recent years? We haven't. And this does need to improve. This is definitely an area of improvement, going forward at the football club. Now, the Spurs Women, I went to Brighton, to the Amex Stadium on Saturday afternoon. I spoke at length to Martin Howe. If you listen to it and watch the interview in the press conference, I think Martin Howe is absolutely brilliant for Tottenham. He's done a wonderful job in his first 12 months at the football club, and I think that it's only going to get better and better. And I think it's great for him to say that he hopes that the Spurs fans will get a couple of surprises, because I think a lot of people have been worried that the fact that Rhian Skinner, Robert Villaham in recent years, they've come in, they did extremely well in their first seasons. Martin Howe has done exactly the same thing, but I think the club need to learn that the second season is going to be difficult, because Martin has done such a wonderful job, and I think that he has got a lot to live up to now for the second season. But he's told me for the last couple of months, pretty much all season really, that the club are going to go big. The club are going to show real ambition. He has a wonderful relationship with the board and the owners, and he talks to them on a regular basis. He said this in many, many press conferences and to me when I've interviewed him face to face. And they're showing real ambition, and you will probably notice and would have heard that I said, is the ambition to finish in the top three. And of course, the top three is playing Champions League football. So that's where he wants to be. He come out and said he wants to win everything. And that is the type of manager he is. That is the type of mentality that he has. And that is music to the ears of a Tottenham Hotspur fan and someone that covers this football club, day in, day out. So that is wonderful news. And we all look forward now to seeing the announcements of the top players coming in to the Tottenham Hotspur Women. But as I mentioned as well, the Tottenham Hotspur men's team, that needs a lot of work. So I expect a big summer coming up on the men's side and, of course, on the women's side as well. But 2 tough games to go. All eyes on the Newcastle v West Ham game. Then all eyes on the Chelsea v Spurs game. And then all eyes on the final day of the season, West Ham hosting Leeds at the London Stadium and Spurs hosting Everton at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit the subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe and well. I'll see you on the next one. Come on, you Spurs.